So Act 18 last year specifically requires that the commission develop a proposed rule and bring it back to the legislature in January 2025 for a clean heat standard. Act 18 provided funding in FY24 for 3 positions and also funds sufficient for technical and facilitation contracts as well. Act 18 did not provide any funding for FY25, so there's a gap, obviously. We do have,
it's just to clarify the gap. So we didn't fund anything in Act 18 for this upcoming fiscal year.
That's correct.
Is that included in your governor's recommended budget?
It is not included in the governor's recommended budget. Equity Advisory Group recommended that the commission ask for general fund revenue for the 3 positions and any of the clean heat standard work that's going to take place in FY25. And that's simply because we don't have an explicit funding source for that. We have our gross receipts tax, which primarily funds us. That covers most of our work, not all of it, but a large portion of our existing non-clean heat standard work. So we are asking that we actually carry on the FY24 funding more or less into FY25.
What I'm hearing is we gave you money for the first year to start setting up this program. In the second year, it might have been anticipated you would come back with a recommendation for a fee or something, and you're electing to just ask for the general fund. Is that a fair summation?
I would say almost. It's starting in FY26. I would expect that any funding for the clean heat standard either be gross receipts tax or funding, that there'd be a very clear sort of inter-program funding source for clean heat standard. We don't have a program in place yet, and we won't until next legislative session. And so until we have that program in place, we don't have a funding source. And that's why we're coming and asking for general fund revenues for those 3 positions and some technical and facilitation work that we need to do as well.
So that Representative Joel. Your conclusions, though, in that report don't align necessarily with that. It says that at least it does describe the short-term funding source being the general fund in the recommendation because it's transparent, efficient, and equitable. It doesn't say that it's because in the short term we have yet to finish the process, kind of similar to what you have described. So I worry about the intent of this report was to find a funding source that is stable and predictable, and certainly transparent, efficient, and equitable, but outside of the general fund, because we typically don't use general funds to support your work. So I'm a bit underwhelmed with this. Certainly don't want to give the impression that the general fund is an easy way out, because it isn't. We're making very difficult decisions now because of the demand is greater than the available resources.